Mic two. Ready? Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. It is another incredible Monday that God decided to give us. We are a little late in starting, but guess what? It's still all good in the hood. So welcome. I am Dr.T, Timms, affectionately known to many of you who really just love me as Dr. T. And I love you right back, all right? So do me a favor, take a moment, press share this video. Like this video, invite other people to like the video. You know, it's always great because one thing about social media, Nick, is that it won't show you all your viewers until later. And then you'll have a lot of people, you'll have a lot of people that are watching, and you go in and I'll have like 2,000 views or something. It doesn't show it. So we know you guys are watching, but go ahead and like the video, share the video, and oh Lord. And let's share and get other people more healthy. So this show is called My Health Matters, and we talk about all things health related, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, relationships. So this is really a show where we can talk about any topic in the world because it is all related to our health, specifically as it relates to stress. And if you are a Black woman or a Black man, stress is definitely something that you've got to pay attention to because it is one of those things that is truly killing us. It is disabling us. You know, my friend's mom had a heart attack just this weekend, you know, and she's older, but she lives a kind of life where she's stress-free, you would think. But that's why it's important to make sure that you surround yourself with people who are not trying to use you, that hurt you or are trying to hurt you, because what happens when people violate you at any point and you're trying to make something work, guess what happens? You're stressing over that. It ain't worth it. Sometimes it's better to let it go, walk away, and start over. You know what I mean? Because God did not intend for us to live lives that are stressed and stressful. And that's what a lot of us had done. That's something I had done. And to master regulating and controlling stress, it is something that in the beginning, I used to have to think about it. But now it's something that's more natural because it's like, I ain't dealing with that. I'm not dealing with her. I'm not dealing with him. I ain't dealing with them. I'm just not going to do it. Because as an adult, we have the right to make decisions for our lives that are going to help us and benefit us. All right. Now, guess what? Today, I have a very special presentation for you all. Depending on what camera you're looking at, you see some machines in front of you. So momentarily, Nick and I, first of all, thank you, Nick. Let me say thank you. I always pay homage to those who are there and in my corner. So our dynamic engineer is Nick.
Shout out to the Most High.
Yes, and also thank you, Mr. Speedy, for allowing me to have this platform. I am very appreciative. Thank you, God, for another day. You know, I always start off thanking the Lord because it doesn't have to be. He didn't have to wake us up, right? And just special shout out to my Aunt Angie. You know, we're dealing with some things in the family, but, you know, God's got you and God's got us all. You know, life is really something. I remember being in junior high school and taking a test, Nick, and we had to read a passage and comprehend what we were reading in the passage. And I just remember the passage saying something like, the youth is wasted on the young, meaning that if you knew back then what you know now, and if you understood the things that come along in life, you would have had done things differently, perhaps. But the reality is there are certain things that happen in life. It's the way God orchestrates it. We're not ready for it. We're not always ready for it. But one thing I've always taught my son is that everything that lives must die. And accepting death is one thing, but how a person dies is something that could be very tragic. So condolences to my family as we are dealing with that, and to other families, not just mine. You know, it's shit happening. You know, this shit is real, and to the point I don't even want to drive down the street. And if you're next to me in tinted windows, I got my hand on my, you know what I'm saying. So it's just like, and that ain't even the kind of life I want to live. But I feel like it's something that we're kind of forced into. What do you think about that, Nick?
I was just talking to my rib about this not so long ago. When I used to do music, one of the things that kind of made it easier for me to walk away from it was when I was getting into it, I remember Jamie sitting me down and kind of explaining to me how that industry worked, and the street politics behind it, which is kind of weird for a comedian to kind of tell you about street politics. But one of the things that I realized when I was in it was kind of the way we had to adjust to everyday life, So imagine I don't like going to clubs in general. That's already out for me.
Right.
So imagine going to a club, and in your mind, you have to prepare yourself for what normally happens at a club. Just a regular BS, somebody stepping on your shoe, spilling a drink, all of that kind of stuff.
Dumb shit.
And then on top of that, you add in the element of we had to start bringing guns. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and that's the one thing that kind of pushed me out of it the most was I didn't want to live my life like that. I didn't want to have to go out with the intentions of having a good time.
Right.
But also having to prepare for damn near war every time.
Right.
It was just nerve wracking, to never have. And then being a black man, you still got to feel that way in regular life. So it would just amp. So I understand you and no one wants to have to feel that way, but as you do get to a point sometimes when you're in certain environments where you feel like you have no choice.
Yeah. Yeah, and then how do you handle that? How do you deal with that and begin to process that as a black man? Because I'm a black woman,
right.
And I hear people say black women have it the hardest. I tend to disagree with that. I tend to believe that black men have it harder than any other human species on this planet. And you know me, I always go back ancestrally what is ingrained into our DNA and just our spirit and method to survive, to get through, and to continue. And let's pay homage to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. because we know he put forth his best effort along with other leaders to help us to get to a place of desegregating. Well, there's some things, I wish they would have just kind of left alone, but I'm just being honest. I don't even know how to keep it 100. I don't need to integrate with everybody. That's just not who I am. And a lot of that has to do with just history, and learning the tricks that are given and the mindset, of everyone. And I have friends of all nationalities. So I know, unlike you, I'm not saying all of anything, but per capita, I will say more of some than of others. I just simply do not trust and will never trust, and am not comfortable. So the bottom line is no one, in my opinion, has it badder. I don't even know if that's a word. Worse than the black man. And a large part of why I say that is because I have brothers, I have sons, I have nephews, I have friends and cousins and all of that. And the level of violence, particularly that's going on in LA, it's like this shit, it just doesn't stop.
It's crazy. Not even the violence. We only had to talk, because that part we can't really control,
Okay.
So, but I think what we can control, especially for black women, is one thing that shocks me about black men is how we're treated, right? Which is, if you're a black man, you can't just aspire to be a car dealership owner. That's not gonna work. It's not a black woman in the world that I met that's gonna be like, that's a good idea. Mm-hmm. Let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna be like, nah, nigga, you need to own all the dealerships, and so it's just this unrealistic expectation that I feel for black men.
Yeah.
On top of the violent aspect of it, on top of the gang stuff, on top of the racism. So that's the only part I feel like as black we can't control that. We can't control what other people feel and how they feel. But what we can control is how we treat one another.
Absolutely.
And I just think I don't know if any sisters is listening. So if you are, I would love for you guys to answer the question. I don't know why that is that black men have to be superheroes.
Okay. So why do black men have to be superheroes, women? Go ahead, chime in. And men, you guys can call in too. 818-914-4087. We definitely want to hear from you because we can talk and give our views and opinions, but please call in.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what your nationality is. It does not matter what your gender is. You have an opinion, and we want to hear. We want to hear from you. Phones on?
Yeah,
Because
phone's
I
on.
know Vern would be like, turn on the phones.
Vern, the phone's on.
Where is Vern?
The
But
phone's on.
818-914-4087. That is how you reach us. So my people, my family, hey y'all, my Instagrammers, I see you hit it close. Go ahead, call in if you don't mind. And I'll put the number in my comment section as well so that you guys can easily access it. But definitely today I want to hear your voices and I want your opinion. And we do have a special segment. You guys might have caught it earlier when I gave a quick synopsis of kind of what I was going to be doing today here in the studio. But I have my body cavitation machine set up. So if you need a breast enhancement, a booty enhancement, you want trying to get rid of some of that fat in the middle, I'm the girl to come and see. But I also wanted to talk about it with you guys. We won't talk about everything, but we'll talk about some of it, some of the more popular things that are happening for the simple fact that you guys need to be aware. Remember, the purpose that God has placed on my life is in educating others, and that is you. Whether you know it or don't know it, it's okay. And it's okay to hear it again, and it's okay to hear it or learn it from a different perspective. But remember, it is about growth and development. And one of the things you said, Nick, was instead of working at the dealership, let's buy that son of a gun. You know, let's own the dealership. So how do we get to a state of being entrepreneurs?
No, Doc, that's what I was saying. Why we got to buy the dealership?
Why not own it? Why not be an entrepreneur? Why not be
Why-
ahead of hiring who you want to hire?
Why can't I just work there?
Well,
Why do I have to be an owner of the dealership? Like,
is
I don't-
working there going to sustain your family and what you need?
Yeah. How
Is
much do we
working
need?
there going to keep the stress low on you?
Stress come in waves, though. I'm not gonna get away from stress.
Okay, well
Money
then,
gonna cause stress, or being broke gonna cause it. Either
hey,
way.
if you can support your family on your job and what you do, and it's not going to necessarily kill you faster from being with me, go have at it.
Right? No, that was my question though. 'Cause my question was, why do people? I just wanted to know. I don't look at it as a negative or a positive. You know,
Sure.
it depends on what's your view on it. But
Mhm.
I was curious to know. Most black women I meet think like you, right? Which
Mhm.
think like if you meet a man and you like, oh, it's cool, he works at the dealership because we're gonna own a couple dealerships. And I was thinking like, well,
Oh, I don't think like that.
well, most women do, right? So I was thinking like, I just curious why that is. I always hear black women kind of aspire to want to build black men up and make them these CEOs.
Instead of just accepting him where he is.
Right. Instead of just, I don't know
I
about
got
accepting him, but maybe he's just not that dude. Maybe he's just comfortable.
Maybe he's happy with his life.
Going to
Why
work,
should you
coming
try
home,
to change him?
watching football, taking
Yeah.
his kids out to the park, and that's
Yeah.
it. You know, instead
Yeah.
of stressing about running buying 2,
Yeah.
3 dealerships, and
Yeah.
I don't know. So I was just curious of where that
I
energy
got
was
an
coming
answer
from.
for you for that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's all I wanted to know.
Well, I have an opinion for you for that.
Go ahead.
So I have, so I'm a high figure earner. Let's just say that. And I have dated men. I've had boyfriends who don't even make half of what I make financially. I've never tried to change. Now, if I have the guy I'm with now wants to do more, if he wants to do more, I'm like that woman that can make more happen. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on your team. Let's go get this. You know, part of that has to do with I'm happy where I am in my life. I'm established, so I have room to be able to pour into my man if that's what he wants to continue to elevate himself. Not a problem. It's kind of like what I do. It's a natural thing. But I've also dated janitors. I've dated what you would call blue-collar workers. I've dated people who work for the city. You know what I mean? Who make, maybe almost as much as I do, but not quite as much. And what happens is the relationship in most situations can go fine, but somewhere along the line, I found or believe that there was an intimidation. And I'm not the kind of woman where because I have this and you don't have that, it was never anything like that. But I couldn't understand, because see, I know I'm a great catch. Like, I'm that chick, right? But what I couldn't understand in many situations is why that had to so much be a factor. I'm not trying to change who you are. Whatever you make, who you are, I accepted it when I accepted the terms of being in a relationship or made the agreement. This is what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So what you bring to the table is okay with me. It's not a problem for me at all. But sometimes there are people who want more. and who feel like and know that they can get more with you than they can in any other situation. So now they're ready to try and to branch out. And to me, those are the better situations and relationships to be in. But the worst thing you can do is to try to change people. People are who they are. I don't care if it's a man. I don't care if it's a woman. If you're going to accept people where they are. Dr. Maya Angelou said it the best, and I am not using quotes because I don't quote people correctly. But what I can say is this: when people show you who they are, believe it. Do not try to alter who people are. Believe it. That is who they are. If they are a pimp, they are a pimp. If they are a hoe, they are a hoe. That's who they are. You can choose to love them because everybody needs love. But don't pretend to be oblivious to what you're dealing with when they have indeed shown you who they are. Now, sometimes, you got a honeymoon period. Now, honeymoon periods can last, Nick, because if he's good or if she's good, they begin to master their craft of lying and holding back and pretending. Sometimes people don't even know they don't even know that they're pretending. But who they are is who they are. And once they show you, don't try to change it. Don't begin to mitigate it because it is what it is. Save yourself some trouble. And now it's time to go into your brain and decide, is this something I want to deal with? Because like I said in the beginning of this segment, God does not intend for our lives to be difficult or miserable. It's not intended for that. We bring that element into it when we accept bullshit. That's what happens. You're accepting bullshit. If you're in a situation and you're unhappy, that's your fault. You're saying, hey, I'm going to continue to roll with this because of some of the things I hear. How much time you've known the person, or we did this and that together. But guess what? They were pretending with you. Now you know. The wool is off your eyes. The shades are over here in the corner. What is your excuse? So if you're there, you want to be there. That's period. What do you think, Nick?
I
love your opinions.
I'm a firm believer. I don't spend my time trying to govern other people.
Right.
Everybody know I get my literature from the scriptures. The scripture says clearly, for the women, submit yourselves unto your husband. So that ain't got nothing to do with me. Mm-hmm. So if you don't want to listen to me, that ain't my business.
Right.
That's your prerogative. You don't want to do what I asked you to do. That's your prerogative.
Right.
I'm just gonna move forward. Cause I'm not in the business of forcing nobody to do anything.
Period.
However you
want
to rock,
to love me.
I'm not doing none of it. So if you
to be respectful, no,
I ain't doing none of it, yo. So, and I'm not tripping if you cross the line. I'm a firm believer in. I was just reading this to my sister the other day. In the scriptures, it says there's a time for grieving, there's a time for love, there's a time for healing and pain, and what that got me to understand is. In this thing we call life, we have to accept it, what comes with it, not just what we want out of it.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
If somebody do me wrong, if a woman cheated on me, if they lied, I just look at that as the wave. That's just the wave of life. I can't take it personal because it doesn't matter whether it's her or the next woman. This is what's going to happen. It happens to everybody in here.
Right.
So I just try to stop looking at it as such a personal thing and taking everything personal from people.
Right.
And just take it day by day. Enjoy what I can enjoy about you. The things I don't like about you. If I can't deal with it, I'm just gonna move on.
Gotta go.
I got to move
Peace
forward, man.
and deuces at the same
I'm
time.
not arguing with you. I'm not gonna be.
No.
One thing that I think is cool.
Arguing is crazy.
This took like a minor adjustment for my rib when we first met was. Even if we got into a serious like conversation or a light argument or something, if I go to sleep and wake up in the morning, it's over for me.
Okay.
I have no energy for it. I don't want to talk. I've let it go.
Okay.
I've known so many people in my life to go to sleep and not wake up. Right. So I've always told myself if I wake up, whatever the hell happened before I went to sleep, I gotta let it go.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's one thing I try to practice the most is whatever happens yesterday. I can't do anything about it today. So it's over.
Right.
No matter what you said to me, no matter what you did to me. If I wake up the next day, I got to move forward,
Yeah.
So I would just encourage people to get what, like Doc said, don't try to change people.
No, you can't change people.
You
You
know?
can only change. Actually, you can't even really change yourself that much.
Just live
It's
by
a
example.
lot of
nigga.
work.
Yeah, just live by example. That's what I tell
Live
people.
by example. Live by example. Hello,
Yeah.
everybody. Hello, kings and queens. I see you guys
Theron.
signing on.
What's going on, Theron?
Give a call. We want to hear your opinion on this. Hassan, call in. I see you, brother.
Yeah,
Call in.
And
Hit
we're
it
talking,
close.
we're talking
call
about
in.
lipo cavications today.
Yes.
Moving that fat around with your fat asses.
How many of you guys out there want to lose some weight in that middle section?
Doc, that's not going to work. You got to let me be the sales. I got you on this.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I learned this at 24-Hour Fitness. I was coached by one of the greatest sales reps I've ever met in my life. This dude looked like Danny DeVito.
Oh, wow.
He was a short, stubby, little fat dude.
Okay.
Picture this. A little fat, little grease ball. He looked shady.
Okay.
He looked like a car dealership
Probably
man.
was shady.
100% shady. He was the shadiest person I ever met.
And one of the richest, too, huh?
Listen, he had a Rolex on working at the gym. So you know something's up. But what he would tell the guests, I would die laughing. But he would sell so many memberships. But he would just tell them the truth.
Okay.
So with your business, Doc, what I think you should do is, I know they teach you to be nice to people, but you got to tell them the truth.
What am I supposed to say?
So listen, if you
y'all,
at home,
from Nick.
if you lazy, you know you lazy. You got 2 gym memberships, you ain't been.
That's me.
You didn't blame it on everything, okay? Your car,
COVID.
the rain, COVID, you can't find a mask, whatever, okay? You know you just ate a whole roll of Oreos the other day. You understand?
Or something like.
So I'm telling y'all the truth. So the bottom line is you fat and lazy. And you got to do something about that.
Okay.
Or you just going to be fat and lazy. So if you're too fat and lazy to work out, what you need to do is at least get your body sculpted and move the fat around if you're too lazy to move yourself around. You know what I'm saying? So you got to let these people know, Doc, it's not cool to be fat and lazy.
Okay.
You can't say if you're a little out of shape. Because that sound like I got time to waste.
If you got fat,
Yeah.
If you fat, unhealthy,
there you go.
Can't move your body.
Tell them the truth.
Low
Doc.
energy. You're low in metabolism.
Bad blood circulation.
Your blood ain't flowing. And you guys know from me talking about Total Life Changes TLC products that I always tell people, Nick, this, because one of the things we like is sex, right, as adults. But ladies, if your lubrication is off, men, if your penis isn't as erect as you would like and for the length of time, most of the time that stuff is related to our blood health. Mm-hmm. And you got to get your blood health together. Now, TLC, we have a product called Chewy. It's amazing for the blood.
Name.
Blood health, blood sugar, blood pressure. If your A1C cholesterol levels are off, it's going to help to bring it back to some homeostasis. And that's what's happening. And that's why many of us are fat in areas or fat all over. Or not able to move our body. So you're right. Let's just call it what it is. You know,
yeah, man.
I'm nice, but I'm pretty straightforward with it. You know, I ain't gonna be mean. Nasty,
it's not about. I don't think it's about being mean. I just think that because I feel like when black people are in public, we speak in that language, right?
Okay.
That publicly correct. But when we're in private, we say we tell each other the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So I feel like a lot of times why we don't get into these health things is because of the language used.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right.
And it's kind of pacifying. Because, a black person, like, man, you getting fat. And you're like, dang, that kind of hurt your feelings. But we speak like that to one another within our privacy of our own home.
That's true.
But in public, we'll say, like, oh, yeah. Oh, man, you put on a little weight. And that's not a little weight, nigga.
Yeah,
that's not a little bit. That's a lot of weight.
It is.
That's a lot.
It's true. It's true.
And I know people who pass from being overweight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Heart attack, stroke.
All
your
that,
blood,
right.
Your blood needs to be able to freely flow throughout your body. And when it doesn't, it's causing the arteries and the veins and the heart to pump too much, to pump too fast. And then you get clots and blockages.
So my uncle who passed, he passed at a young age, like 34 maybe. Mm-hmm. He was always overweight, even as a kid.
Okay.
And what we found out when he right before he passed, his heart was so hard because it had been working so hard for so long. So if anybody knows
the heart, calcify?
Right, the heart's a muscle, right?
Lack of oxygen.
So if you guys know anything about muscles, when you lift weights, you're basically ripping your muscles apart, and then you're building scar tissue, which makes your muscles hard. So that's what you're doing when you're working out.
We're gonna talk about that too.
So if your heart is beating too much and working too hard, it's doing the same thing. It's gonna start building scar tissue, which is gonna restrict I forget the proper the technical term from it, but it's gonna restrict how much the heart can pump the blood out because of the the scar tissue on the
That's where
heart.
you, when you look at blood pressure cuffs, the systolic and the diastolic.
That's what I was going for. I
Mhm.
couldn't even pronounce that. Um, yeah, so it started to restrict how much the heart was pumping.
Mhm.
And on top of that, if you're overweight and your body needs to pump more blood to all these different areas a little faster, and if it's restricted, that's just a recipe for disaster. And it was
Yes.
really nothing they could do
Yes.
because his heart had been working so hard for so long.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
So just so you guys think about that, like at least get off the couch and do something for your health.
So get your asses up and move your body.
Move your body, or at
And
least get
that's
vacuumed
why-
up,
and
yo.
you know what? That's why because for me, with all the ailments I've had, I just started with walking. I started like 2 years ago online, just walking and just talking to people because I understood and I understand the physical limitations I have, but you can't allow that to be an excuse. You've got to move your body. You've got to get your heart pumping. You got to make sure that you're taking nutrients that are going to help you internally to begin to do some things and to make some changes. That's why I love TLC. TLC products are bomb.com. They absorb quickly into the bloodstream to get to working. Products are amazing. You guys can find the link on my site, or you can go to shop.totallifechanges.com/that, THAT, doc, DOC. And if you have questions, ask me before you make a purchase, okay? Products are amazing, amazing, amazing. I'll tell you this before we get into the body fat cavitation, but also there are some things that are helping me to keep from getting this COVID over and over and over and over and over again. And when I got COVID, I was asymptomatic, so I didn't even know. And I praise God, first of all, for that, because that is truly a deliverance, because you're looking at someone who used to visit the hospital 5 times, 6 times in a month and probably had a 1 to 2 day stay overnight. That was my life before I began taking the products with TLC, before I learned about the power of mushrooms, Siberian mushrooms, mushrooms from Asia, the Ganoderma lucidum, the chaga, the cordyceps. There's just so many of them that work for the body, that help to prevent certain diseases, that help to fight certain cancers, right? This is some real stuff that is going on. Now, I'm not saying it's going to cure anything, but what I'm trying to tell you, and just use me as your guinea pig, is that these things work with helping to mitigate and to fight in our system. I'm telling you, and I have certain loved ones. I just give them things because I need to see them to still be here, to still be around. So if it's the tea that you're consuming that's going to help to detox and move toxins out of your middle section, because let's face it, most of us, even me, even Dr. T, I'm holding on to a lot of weight in my middle section because I've had in my life 8 surgeries, okay? And thank God I'm still here. So I'm still standing. I'm definitely not complaining, right? But right here is my troubled area. This area here. It used to be, last month, it was like this, okay? It has gone down about 5 inches because I started a process called Lipo body fat cavitation with radio frequency. And I've learned some things along the way. And so I'm so impressed by the results that it does, because in this area, because of so much scar tissue, like you mentioned before, around the heart, the body begins to calcify. And what it basically is, there's a lack of oxygen getting to that area. But these toxins here are also able to be removed by using the cavitation process, because what it's doing is breaking down what is called adipose fat. And that is fat, long-term fat that stores fat up on fat. And the cells just begin to stack. And when they're stacking, we're going out like this, right? The cavitation process is amazing because it breaks down the fat molecules. And then we begin to drain it through our lymphatic system, all right? So it is important to have the lymphatic system cleansed. And there are different ways to do that. One of them is by working out, sweating, moving your body. Another way is by taking nutrients. That is why detoxifying the body is so very important. And it should be done on a regular basis, because every day we're breathing. So every day we're breathing, we are inhaling elements of the air, and there's COVID all around you guys. Get that shit up out your system. Get it out your system, because what happens, many of us are holding 20 to 40 pounds right here. So can you imagine something you're laying down and your technician is just going over your skin with radio frequency in your body that is not harming your body, but it is liquefying fat to pass through the lymphatic system that you're either going to urinate or shit out your system. That's what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. So I got so impressed with it. The lady, I won't say her name, but the lady that I worked with was absolutely amazing, right? And I still have some more treatments with her, but I had to stop for a minute because she had some other things going on. But she is amazing. And I learned from her. I learned from her talking and telling and just going over it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this because I understand, first of all, the purpose that God has called on my life, which is to educate others, which is to help others through my experiences. That's why I'm always talking. That's why I'm always doing. That's why I'm always showing. All right. So in one moment, you guys, I'm going to switch to the other side of this dynamic table here. And you won't see this cheese face, but I'm going to be over there and I'm going to show you guys not everything, but just some things from these machines. And then if your desire is to have more volume in your breast or in your booty, guess what? You can also have a breast enhancement and a butt enhancement. What I love about this, all natural. It is basically pulling and forcing the blood. All right. We talked about the blood circulation. There's your circulation, right? It is pulling the elastin in the skin and the collagen and making it come out. Because what happens when you have children, right? Sometimes you get stretch marks. Like Nick was saying, when you're lifting weights, you're tearing that muscle and that tissue. Sometimes stretch marks form. Guess what? This process also helps to take away the stretch marks because it is pulling the skin nicely and comfortably, and there's no pain. There's no medication. There's no anesthesia. There's no downtime. There's no cutting. None of that. Now, I wonder if I had known about this stuff. So my surgeries that I had were primarily because of ovarian cancer, okay, cysts and things like that. But I got to tell you, I don't know if it would have been effective, with cancer. Sometimes you got to take medication, you guys. But when you don't have to, I recommend you don't. Because one of the things I've learned about medication is that it's just there to kind of soothe and to pacify. It doesn't do anything to correct. All right. And that is why many people end up addicted on certain things. Now, y'all remember, before the white folks was really having problems with Oxycontin, they didn't really give a damn. Every time you went to the hospital, you had a surgery. Oxycontin, Percocet, Vicodin. Vicodin got so bad, Kaiser just said, we're not giving Vicodin no more, And even me, I almost died from taking too much codeine. Because I was having work done dentally, and I was having like a bronchial infection. So that syrup that Lil Wayne talk about, sipping on that syrup, that Phenergan with codeine in it, that was me. But I wasn't doing it to be high, and I didn't pay attention. My doctors were supposed to run in the system what I was taking, but I don't know how it was missed. But anyway, it landed me in a freaking coma. So when you talk about being anti-medication, if it's not absolutely necessary, guess what? I ain't doing it. So this coughing you guys hear, I have sinuses like the Dickens. Like, they have really gotten really, really, really bad once I was in a situation where I had no ventilation in my office, okay? And I am suffering from that even still to this day. So bear with me. Do we need to take a break, Nick? Okay, so I'm just going to move my ass on the other side of this podium. And then you guys are going to be able to see what we're doing. Now, excuse the mess over there. Don't worry about all that. That ain't what you're here for. And then while I'm doing this, shout out to our sponsors, House of Yahweh. Am I saying it right? Yahweh. Hey, House of Yahweh, for our beautiful candles, our Adam and Eve candles, which we use in here. They are multifaceted. They are multi-purpose in that not only do they smell great and give great aroma, but you can also use them, you guys, as body oil. Hey, so who knows? If I'm rubbing on your body and giving you treatment, you're going to get you some House of Yahweh candle wax. It's amazing on the body.
Won't he do it?
Yes, he'll do it. So shout out to the creators of that. And then, let me shift my camera. I don't even know if I'm on.
I got you, Doc.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you, Nick. All right. And then, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Don't worry about all this. And I'm not going to go over everything, but I'm just going to go over just enough to help you guys to begin to understand. And should you have a question, 818-914, what is it?
4087.
4087. Okay. So you can call in with your questions. Call in live while we're here. All right. So let's just go through it. And then I have my breast and butt augmentation machine here. All right. And I know I'm looking crazy in my little dress that I folded as a shirt, but don't worry about that. All right. So, some things I want you guys to understand. Let me just say this. Woo, I keep hearing people say, my homegirl does that. My so-and-so does that. Okay, that's all fine and cute. But what I'm going to tell you is this. You need to make sure that people have gone through the trainings. Like my training, because I take it so seriously, I did it a couple times. That's just me, because I believe in not doing anything to people that I don't understand. That's number one. Make sure they hold their certificates, meaning that they at least showed up to training. All right. Now, some of these trainings, you could just go click, bloop. You don't want that, because guess what? You can cause damage to people. You can damage their skin. You can damage their cells. That's why it is important that you study, like the Bible says, Nick, study to show thyself approved, all right? Thanks. So don't just be letting anybody do anything on you because they have these machines. I remember being in a nail shop, and this girl was like, oh, yeah, I do it. I only charge $50. I'm like, but she couldn't explain to me, like, really what it was. Red flag, okay? So be careful. Be careful. Align yourself with people that you trust, all right? And Dr. T is indeed trustworthy. So, all right. And then I have a location here in the Valley and one in Torrance. All right. And then I might go to somebody's house, but carrying this and the equipment and the massage bed and all of this stuff is going to cost you, because it takes time to set it up, to carry it and all that. And I don't have an assistant. All right. So here we go. We're going to turn this on. And I'm going to show you. And then, especially with COVID, make sure that your technician is constantly wiping equipment, you guys. All right? That's what you do want to do. Constantly wiping equipment, because guess what? Even though it's made with that metal, that steel, and it's easy to clean, you want to make sure that your stuff is disinfected, because what if they forgot? So for me, before I even start, I like to describe what's happening and to show my client, hey, this is disinfected, all right? Make sure they're not reusing the same wipes. So these are the things I want you guys to be familiar with. Now, if you don't mind, let me see. Can I sit down, Nick? Okay. I'm going to just take my little doctor's lab coat off a little bit here so I can demonstrate for you guys some things, all right? Now, I can't show you the breast lift and the butt lift, but I can go over some things with you. And I have not personally experienced the butt lift. I think my booty is all right. You know, I do squats, so that helps. All right, so some things you can still do naturally, and do your natural and combine this here. This is all natural. Again, there's no chemicals related to this stuff or anything like that, okay? So there's certain things that are used. There's ultrasound gel. There is cellulite. This one is absolutely amazing. It smells so great.
You can use this close camera if you want to give them a close-up on the product.
Oh, okay.
You can show them at this camera if you want to show. No, you just want to show the product
okay. So just your ultrasound gel, different massage oils specifically for cellulite, okay? Make sure that your technician is wearing gloves. I'm not going to wear gloves because I'm only going to be touching on my own body. And I'm only going to, and hand sanitizer. These are like necessities. This is for your health because you want to make sure that your person is staying clean, right? And when they're moving across equipment, they need to have clean gloves, clean hands. Plain and simple, all right? So make sure if they don't have these things, I want you to politely get your ass up and leave because that means that they're not taking care of you during COVID. The other thing too that I do is I wear a mask and I require the clients to wear a mask and we're going to minimize talking. So when you sign up, the first thing you should do when you go into the office, you should be reading about what it is you're having done to your body so that you can understand the concerns, so that you can let your technician know any medical conditions you have because if you have metal plates, if you have had a recent surgery, if you have like ovarian cysts that you're aware of or certain cancers, then your technician should be getting permission from your medical doctor before starting. All right, that's very important because I'm not a pediatrician. I'm not a general practitioner. I am a clinical psychologist. So yes, I am a doctor, but I'm not your medical doctor. Okay. So that's the first thing I want you guys to know. And then you're signing a consent saying that you understand what these different processes of the body can do for you, number one, but also that you understand the risks, in which so far I haven't found any risks. So that's another plus to this, in my opinion. Okay, so let's get started. So this is a machine. It's only one of many machines. There's many on the market, but I just want to show you guys that it doesn't hurt and kind of what it feels like. All right, so let's just do Dr. T's arm here. You always want to make sure that there is some sort of gel that is put on your skin. All right, so this one here is for the cavitation. This is gonna, I should do it up here where this flab is, huh? Let's do it up there. Let's do it where the real work is. So it's for the cavitation, which is gonna break down that hard to reach fat that we talked about, the adipose fat that lies. Y'all remember that movie with Harrison Ford? What lies beneath is a lot of fat. Okay, so it goes under the subcutaneous fat, if you guys are familiar with that. I'm gonna turn on this machine. Okay, I'm making sure it's on the right setting because there's several settings. You can get facials, you can get all kind of stuff with this machine. It is worth every penny, I promise you. But we're going to take the time down. Well, it doesn't matter because I'm going to stop it at a certain time. All right, and then you want to make sure that you're not getting too much too fast. So that's for your technician to be able to do. There's ways to gauge that, okay? And then you guys can't hear this. You can't hear that, right? But there is a, no, you can't. It's a radio frequency that you're hearing. I'm sorry, it is the cavitation that you're hearing. And what you're hearing is the breaking down of those fat molecules. That's what's happening here. Okay? That's what's happening. So this one here, when you lay on the table, that's what's going to happen. When I do this to you, I'm breaking down fat. And there's certain ways to do it depending on what you want to do, because the other thing about this is that it is shaping the body. All right? So now, just for all simplistic purposes, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the other arm. Look at all that was jiggling, y'all. All right? Now, let me say this. Do not do this on your own. I have a technician that does mine. I'm just demonstrating for you guys. Do not do this on your own, okay? Don't. Number one, you're not going to be able to get the full effects of what it is that you're aiming to do. You're going to be quite disappointed, and you might end up with a effed up shape. So, because remember, you are reshaping your body. Now, the fat is going to come out. You're going to pee and shit the fat out. But what about what you're going to look like? You're going to be looking like SpongeBob SquarePants, or you want to be figure 8 and sexy. So it's up to you, all right? But that's what this is here. Now, I have tattoos here, but they are well healed because they're probably about almost 2 or 3 years old. I forget when me and my son went. And he bamboozled me to get him an $800 partial sleeve. Yeah, he did. Okay, but that's what you're hearing. And only you are going to hear it because it's in your ears because of the radio frequency. All right, so let's go ahead and press pause on here. And then I like to turn it off completely. So that's one thing you're going to get. All right, again, make sure that the equipment is clean. Make sure that your technician has on gloves because you're not trying to spread COVID. All right. Now, the other thing is we're going to move to the radio frequency. And the RF therapy is so amazing for the simple fact that this loose skin that you have is going to tighten it up. All right. So you wipe off the ultrasound. This is so safe. This is what they use on us when we're pregnant to look at the baby. So you know that the ultrasound is safe. All right. Doesn't cause any problems, none of that. All right. So now I'm a little extra, so I like to make sure it's off. All right. So I'm going to use something a little more cleanly than that. And then I have a towel to dry it because for the radio frequency, or what you may know as RF therapy, it is going to require a different machine that looks like this. All right. Now, still, even though it's me and I know it's clean, I just want to show you guys the importance of making sure it is, simply because of the times that we're living in. And you don't want nobody else's skin cells on your body. I don't. You know, I don't know where they been. And even if I did, I just wouldn't want to know. So this process here, we're going to apply our special oil here. We're going to make sure it's nice and juicy, okay? Because you want to make sure that you have the consistent rolling from the RF procedure. You don't want the skin to be dry. So let's go ahead and turn this puppy back on. I'm going to select the correct setting here. Look, let me make sure, because we're not doing a facial. Although I could. And I'm going to drop the time. Not that it matters, because this is just for demonstration purposes. And this here is applied. And hold on one second, you guys, because I had to move this. I should have did this before. Just make sure everything is connected. But yeah, that's what you're doing. You're just moving it just like that. And so what this is doing, it is tightening my skin. And if I had any stretch marks here, it is going to make them go away. They're going to disappear, okay? Plain and simple. Just demonstrating for you guys. But what we do to one side, like in math, we got to do to the other. Don't want one hanging and the other one ain't hanging, right? All right, so here we go. Real simple. Real simple. No pain. Little pressure because you want to make sure you're getting it. If somebody gets a phone call, they should not be taking phone calls working on your body, because the one thing you never want to do, you never want to just sit these things on the skin. No, you want to keep them moving, okay? Sometimes fast, sometimes slow. That's why you got to make sure you're going to a technician who knows what they're doing, all right? Okay, so I'm going to stop this and turn this off, and I'm going to wipe it. It is now sterilized, okay? Plain and simple. So those are the two main things that are going on here. So that is with this machine. Now, like I said, and I have done the breast enhancement. Not that I don't have a nice rack on me, because I do, right? But, and you know, I walk around with no bra because my breasts are pretty firm. They don't sag. They don't do any of that dimpling and all. I don't have none of that. All right. So, yeah. So, but this process here, what I love about it is that it's going to help to bring that collagen back and the elastin back to the breast. Now, it also brings it to the booty, because you can actually use these same cups to lift your butt. And it's a very simple process. Very simple process. I do not recommend, don't do this yourself, okay? Don't do it yourself. Pay somebody to do it for you so you can get the quality of care that you deserve, and to make sure that you're not damaging your skin. Because one thing I can tell you about this is that when you put these cups on and you select the intensity of what it is you're trying to do, there's going to be a certain level of suctioning, all right? Now, just imagine putting all of your breasts, no matter what size it is, into one of these cups, the most appropriate cups, right? For me, I have to use the largest one. But anyway, what happens when you put the breast inside, you're going to measure, you're going to see where the breast is, and then you'll be able to compare where it is later. It's the same thing with the booty. You're going to put the cups on the booty to see where it is, and then you'll be able to measure. But also when you do the butt, your technician should also be cavitating to move that fat out of your ass around the sections that's not being worked, okay? So you put these on, you leave them on a certain amount of time, and it is massaging your breasts. If you have too much intensity, it can hurt, okay? And let me tell you, this is a process called cupping. These are called gourds, all right? But very simple. It is forcing the blood flow. It is forcing the collagen, and it is forcing the elastin. Some of you lose the elasticity in the breast. This is going to bring it back, all right? This is going to help you to push them girls up and be able to be like, hey, you know, and you just walk into the room more confident, I think, when your breasts are right. I'm just saying. You're definitely going to get the attention. Take it from me, right? Not by anything you're doing, but what God has given you naturally. Now, speaking of naturally, some of you may have silicone. I don't recommend that. You know, you pumping up on some silicone. I don't recommend that. I think that is one of the most dangerous things to do. It's just like with this COVID. You should not have foreign substances in your body. Period. All right. It's never good. It's never, ever, ever good. So if you are considering having breast augmentation, having a Brazilian butt lift, having liposuction by way of going to the doctor with anesthesia, with being cut and all of that, I beg of you, try one of these processes first, please. So that, let me tell you, the worst thing about me having surgery, Nick, is the anesthesia. One time they almost couldn't wake me up. My sister and my brother-in-law, Marty, rest in peace, Marty, they were like, oh no, wake her up. Because I always told my family, as soon as surgery is over, you're not waiting 2 hours to shake me, wake me. And they could not wake me until almost 2 days later.
Oh, wow.
So that fear, you know, and especially with everything else I had gone through, my family was like, you know, this is just too effing much. But by the grace of God, some of you may not like it, but I still here. All right. So, but going back over here, this here also is a way to cavitate fat. So there's different things on these machines. They do so much, Nick. That's why I said I'm not going to talk about everything, because I just can't, you know. But if your skin is saggy and you got a turkey neck and you want to smooth that skin out, I could do a facelift for you. It's going to come with a massage and a facial first, cleansing the skin, making sure the skin is absolutely clean. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to lift it. You know, even if you have crow's feet, it's going to help with crow's feet. Many of you are looking older than what you are, all right? You can begin to, did I say it the right way?
What about, what's that on the eyes?
Crow's feet, right here.
I thought crow's feet was on your feet, but you mean on your eyes.
It's on your eyes, because it looks like a crow just landed right here and left his imprint on your eye. And I have a little crow's feet. I do. And I treat mine with the product that we have from TLC. It's called Infinity Oil. It is a pure emu oil from the emu bird, and it has added just vitamin E, which is amazing for the skin, right? Some things you're going to get just in time. I'm almost 50 years old, so hey, a little crow's feet, I ain't mad at it. It's all good. What's important to me is being healthy inside. The outside is going to reflect naturally. It's just going to come, you know, because you're taking care of the inside. What's going on inside definitely is going to reflect in your skin, in your fat, right, Nick? in your body odor, your smell, your health, your breath, it comes out. Don't think it doesn't. It comes out. And then I tell women too that when you're having bad pH balance and you walking around smelling like you just came out the sea, or you got really bad breath or bad mood and attitude, and you're hormonal, you know, pre, post, perimenopausal, those are some real hormonal things that are happening inside of, I can't say my body, but y'all body. You know, there's a product called Blossome, or there is a product called the Balanced Woman, which is in my Sun line, that will help you to get those feelings under control. You know, or if you need help sexually, my Balanced Woman product is going to take care of all of that and give you sexual stimulation. You know, men out there, if you need sexual stimulation, get you some Drive. That's on my product line as well, under Sun. And you can look at these products and order them directly at serenityoptimumnutrition.org. That's SerenityOptimum nutrition, nutrition.org. I say .org, Nick, because I'm a whole organization.
There you go.
There are so many facets of me. I'm not just Dr. T, the doctor. I'm Dr. T, the child of God, in which God has blessed me with so many skills and skill sets and opportunities of learning and showing and teaching and growing. And that's what you're seeing, and that's what is happening in my life. And I'm happy to share this journey with you guys. Most people wouldn't go through and show you this. I ain't intimidated by that because, like I said, any fool can buy these products if you know how and where to get them and which ones to get. But not any fool can just go and give you the services that you want, all right? Something else I do, if you guys don't like the machines, you know, there is something that has been around a long time, a part of Chinese healing. It's called cupping. Now, you know what? My little cupping device, the natural one, is in that bucket, but that's okay. But these things here, if you don't want to use the machine, there are techniques to put these things on your skin and to begin to pull, you know, a certain kind of way and to move a certain kind of way that is also going to help to get, excuse me, your blood flowing the correct way. All right. So we can correct some blood issues that are going on. You can put these on your shoulders, your chest, your belly. My belly fat gets it. You know, when I'm laying in the bed, I'm like, oh, let me do my cupping. You know, I could do this one. But again, I don't even recommend that. All right. So let somebody else of skill set do these things for you so you're not walking out looking like SpongeBob. You know, you're trying to create a muscle pattern here, but not there. And you know what, Nick? I put up a picture. Oh, the picture that we have on the display for today's show, if you're able to put that up there, because I took that picture just 2 days ago to show you guys what my body looks like underneath. The other thing we have, these are Colombian woods. They break down cellulite and fat in the body. Okay, there's a certain way to use it. Not necessarily what Dr. T is showing you, but I'm just trying to show you the ease of it. And there's different apparatus, you know, that we use to get this accomplished. All right. And we have different cups. We have different levels. I'm not going to show you everything, but, you know, this here to shape the body, to shape the waist. Now, how do you know if you're making progress? You go to the 99-cent store and get you some measuring tape. But your technician should be measuring you before and after each of your procedures. Now, here's a couple tricks to the trade. Work out, eat better, drink a lot of water. When I go to my sessions, I'm peeing about 6 times. That's telling me that this process is working in my body because it's coming out lymphatically through my lymphatic system. And guess what's happening? I'm pissing it out. Excuse me, urinating it out, all right? So that's what's happening. But there's so much to it, you know, so let's not be quick to run and get cut and all these other things that are unnecessary, because the healing process for that, in my experience, can be long. When I had ovarian cancer, they had to cut me from my navel down to the pubic bone. And so that was an ugly cut that healed like this. Well, guess what? I'm changing that, because for a long time, I could not move that scar tissue. I had scar tissue built up so much, you guys, that guess what? I had to have a surgery. It was the worst pain of my life. I remember laying I had a huge home in Carson. I remember laying on the floor of my bedroom, which is probably the equivalent of about 5 people's regular bedrooms, right? And calling for my son, whose bedroom was on my 4th floor. And I was like, call 911 and call one of your aunties, okay? And it just so happened that one of my sisters got there before the ambulance did, and I had them rush me to Kaiser, and immediately I had to have an emergency surgery. Never knew this, to remove scar tissue. But what happens when you remove scar tissue? It builds more scar tissue. So my middle section was not moving despite whatever exercising, running, whatever it was I was doing, even prior to 2 years ago. It would not move. It would not change, right? Now you're talking about 15 years plus in, I am breaking down that scar tissue. And I know it because my stomach is flattening. So if you look at the picture that Nick just put up, that's my stomach. I ain't sucking it in. I was like, you go, girl. I think I see some abs coming in. I see some ribs. You know, I ain't seen that shit in a long time. So I'm very impressed, with the way that I'm treating my body. But this is what I do. I pray. I move my body. I take my nutrients, and I talk about it with you all and with anyone that I can. And then I'm starting to incorporate these treatments in my life. Now, I don't even think I really need to do this stuff anymore because it has broken down that fat tissue after just about 3 visits that I had with the technician that I'm working with. 3 visits began to change that for me, okay? But one thing about me and one thing I can tell you about life, it is the consistency. But when you make an investment in yourself and in your health, that is indeed the best investment that you can make by far. You can't help other people if you're not helping yourself. You have to be here mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and all the other leaves so that you are present in the right mind to be able to do what is necessary. That is going to help so many people, you guys. All right? So I hope that you guys like the presentation. How much time we got left? Oh. Oh, okay. Hi. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take a break, and then I shall return. And if you guys have questions, please make sure that you call in to the number on the screen. All right, 818-914-4087. We'll get you right through. To me. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to My Health Matters with yours truly, Dr. T, Dr. Tim's here. So I hope that you guys enjoyed our conversation that we had. Whenever I can always count on Nick, let me just tell you. It's team 2. It could be team 2 up in here, and the conversations are always stimulating and exciting. And then I thank you guys for watching the presentation on and we only went over a couple things. These machines do so many things to help you with your health in terms of breaking down that stubborn, hard to get to fat. So make sure you stay posted because Nick's gonna give out Rollout Digital, we've upgraded, is gonna give out to somebody, maybe 2 of you, a free body sculpting session just for being a Patreon member. Let me say, if you're not a Patreon member, the only way that you can qualify for this is if you become a Patreon member. $5, $10, $20 a month is going to give you access to incredible shows, incredible content 24 hours a day. Okay? You'll have your Patreon app. Go on about your day and get it handled. All right? So I want you guys to consider that. It is about us, supporting Black businesses, and just supporting each other. You know, every time you guys watch and tune in, that is being supportive. Every time I give messages, Dr. T, have a great show. I feel your support. I read and I respond to your messages every time and always will. Okay. So if you ever send me a message, you ever DM me and I don't get back to you, you call me. Okay. And you let me know, because you are important to me. And it is important that I get back to you with whatever questions you may have, or whatever it is you want to know, or to see how or what it is I can do to help you. So now we have come to the segment in the show, which is my favorite part of the segment. I don't know about Nick, where we're going to engage in deep breathing. So if you are able, I'm going to ask you to please stand to your feet and let's just do some quick, deep breathing. Now, remember, before we stand up, we're going to inhale deeply through the nostrils and let the air fill us. For me, I feel it going up. Then it comes down, and then I'm going to control it right here in that area where a lot of fat and toxins lie, right? I'm straining it. I'm pushing it. I'm holding it. I'm strengthening that area of my body. And then I'm going to take all of that tension, all of the problems that lay there, all of the toxicity that is there in the middle, toxic people, toxic situations, toxic jobs, toxic bosses, toxic wives, toxic husbands, toxic boyfriends, toxic girlfriends, toxic children, everything that may be weighing me down, anything that may be trying to cause me stress lies right here. And I don't want it to get right here, because I don't want strokes, heart attacks, and all the rest of that mess that comes along with it, right? So what we're going to do is simple. I'll try to guide you with my hands, but remember, I'm participating just like you, because it's important for my health too. My health matters just like your health matters, all right? So again, I'll demonstrate inhaling through the nose. Feel the air. Let it rest here a few seconds. And when I do this, we're going to squeeze and exhale together through the mouth. All right. And every time you exhale, you should feel your body fold a little bit, like feel it give a little bit more. All right. Okay. Who's ready? You ready? Ready, Nick? All right. Here we go. Inhale deeply through the nose. Oh, God, yes. All right. Let's do it again. Today is not going to be a stressful day. Inhale. Oh, I feel it coming out my back. Thank you, Father. One more time. All right. How do you feel, Nick? Great. All right. And then we're going to just end on a positive note by stating a positive affirmation. Would you like to go first, Nick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Affirmation for today. It is Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Starting the week off, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's an affirmation I can go with this Monday morning? This will be. No, let me make it positive. Let me make affirmation. So let me affirm this thing.
Affirm it.
Let me affirm this
Positivity.
thing. I will start my fitness journey this week,
Okay.
today.
There you go. See, he went from this month to
Today.
this week to today.
Let's do it today.
That's what I'm talking about. No time like the present. Plus, tomorrow ain't guaranteed.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Okay. And you guys pretty much know mine, because I really do try. You know, I'm not perfect, but I try. So today, I affirm that I am going to be an even better version of myself than I was just yesterday. I'm going to be. That means that I'm going to work harder. I'm going to delve more into my creativity. I'm going to come up with more ideas. And there's some things I've got to get moving. And I'm going to move those things today. That is my affirmation. So if you guys have affirmations, go ahead. Feel free to put them in the text. If you are not on Patreon watching us, you've missed out on so much. So please make sure that you subscribe. The lowest subscription is only $5 a month. But you're going to have content to shows every day of the week. If you want to be a little frisky and get that Freaky Friday show, which is so off the hook.
Shout out to Precious Hall.
Shout out to Precious Hall.
Yeah, she came to and killed it Friday. If y'all
Anika
don't know.
McFall.
Yeah, who else came out?
Jazzy.
Yeah, Marcus.
And
Mr. Marcus.
Mr. Marcus. Yes, that Mr. Marcus. And I went back and I looked at the filming I did on my phone, and he was singing. Oh, it was amazing. Sky was here.
Shout out to my dog, man.
And her friend, I didn't catch the name, though.
I'll just call him Cuzzo.
Cuzzo was here.
I just call him Cuzzo. Yeah.
Nicole was here
Shout
from
out
San
to
Diego.
Classic Athletic. Shout out to her.
Scott, yes. Yep. And who else was here? Speedy was here,
Oh, yeah, Pops came.
the
too.
host. And of course, our dynamic engineer, Mr. Nick, was here. I feel like I'm leaving out someone, but if I
I
am,
know. I feel like too, somebody was here. They made it left early or something. I don't
yeah,
know.
I think somebody else was here and left early. But we love having you guys here. So come back Friday. We're going to do it again. Well, sometimes we change up guests, and that kind of thing to give everyone an opportunity. But
Oh, Aaron.
Oh, Aaron Styles and her sister.
And her
That's
sister
who
came through,
they.
yeah.
Yep, they left a little bit early, but yeah, Miss Aaron was here too. So shout out to Aaron Styles, and it was an absolutely amazing show. So the people can watch it on Patreon. Is that correct?
So
So you can go to your Patreon app and you can catch that show. I'm gonna listen to it on my drive home, or wherever I decide to go because I'm real grown. So, all right. All right, you guys, you have been amazing. Please like this video, share this video, tell people about what we're doing over here because it is truly about us, uplifting us. All right? So peace and blessings, and treat others with love and respect. God bless you. See you next week. Oh, there may be a change in time, but we'll keep you guys, I'll keep you posted. Okay. Bye.